I do apologize once again. We are having some crazy technical difficulties. My live stream kicked me off, and I'm doing everything I can to get this going. Again, no on-air broadcast through the AM or FM stations, it appears, for right now anyway. We'll see if we can get that situated. I know the studio was locked up and couldn't get anyone in there, but we're going to do our best to have this live stream going for you. It's going to be second and a mile. Haviland gets the snap, going to keep it himself. We've got a flag on the play. It's going to be a false start on the offense, so Humboldt's going to move 5 yards back now. That's going to put the ball back at the 49-yard line where the drive started. So it's going to be second and 28 for the Cubs. And Humboldt just moving in the absolute wrong direction right now, but this is a team that they've got the talent to make up big plays in a hurry. So Haviland going to be in the shotgun set. Gibbs going to be to, appears that's Isaiah Coronado. Again, Coronado was disqualified last week, unfortunately. And actually, that was Kyle Cobald. Excuse me. Getting back to Coronado, he was disqualified. They deemed it was a late, unnecessary hit for using the crown of his helmet. I guess Coronado standing on the sideline. I should know that wasn't him if he's standing there. But they deemed it was an illegal hit, a late hit with the crown of his helmet, and deemed that that was enough for him to sit out the rest of the game. So Coronado didn't finish that one, and Cubs still able to come away with a 64-0 victory. Haviland looking to throw this time, going to take a shot over the middle, and that one a bit underthrown. Jackson Akins was the intended receiver that time. That's going to bring up fourth down and a very likely putting situation as it's 4th and 25. Haviland will do the punting duties. Haviland gets the snap, good spiraling snap. A very high, wobbly, going to be a short punt, and that's not a very good punt. Connor Haviland clearly upset with himself as he's walking off the field. The defense going to have their hands full. Again, not great field position by any means for Riverton, but much better than they were probably anticipating after the Haviland punt. Haviland, a normal starter on defense, going to come out and sit a few plays out because he was unhappy with himself after that punt. So that'll bring the Rams offense back out onto the field. Snap, handoff going inside, number 22, Ethan Shaver. And Shaver going to pick up about 8 that time. So a big play for the Riverton offense. Second and we'll call it a long 2. You call it short 3 if you want to. Bryce Johnson under center. He's going to give to his back, number 1. That's Will Shaver. And a great tackle on the outside. That number 22, Drake Harrington. A great job as Harrington went low, wrapped up the feet. And that's going to be a gain of only about 1.5. So that will set up a 3rd and 1. So big 3rd down. Last time in this position, Riverton opted to throw the ball deep. I would expect a run this time as they've seemed to have a lot more success in the running game, albeit we are still early in this one. Run right up the gut, and that was Ethan Shaver. And Ethan Shaver is going to pick up about 13, 14 yards on the play. It's going to be enough for a Riverton Ram first down. And the Humboldt defensive line going to have to step it up is because the most successful plays so far for Riverton have just been runs right up the gut. Bryce Johnson back under center. 2 backs in the backfield behind him. This time the give to number 4, Hunter Crowder. And Crowder to the left side only going to pick up about 2. A much better job by the front 4 of the Humboldt defense to bring up a 2nd and 8. Again, a much cooler night here for football. If you've been with us the first 5 weeks of the season, we've had a little bit of rain, we've had some heat, but we haven't seen 40-degree weather yet. and football season, football weather is finally here. Give up to middle, this time number 22, Ethan Shaver, and Shaver bouncing off one tackler and picks up about 3. So that will set up a 3rd and 4, and a perfect opportunity for the Humboldt defense to try to make a stand and get off the field. Defensive line for Humboldt ready to go, and they're all orange uniforms. Again, I apologize for the camera. I'm getting there, I promise, guys. And this time, handoff and a big stop in the backfield. Number 32, Kyle Cobalt, came flying through the line. That's going to be a loss on the play. That's going to set up a 4th and 9, a 5-yard loss. What a play by the linebacker, Kyle Cobalt. So 4th and 9. Humboldt defense, Riverton defense looked pretty good on that last set of downs. Thought they might go for it at midfield. However, it is still pretty early here. So Riverton's going to look to punt. Good spiraling snap. The punt's going to be off, and it's a short punt. This one fielded by Jero. Jero to the right side. He's got a little bit of room and knocked out of bounds with a thundering hit. But Humboldt going to have decent field position as they take over at their own 37-yard line. And a big hit by Riverton. That was Zane Shireman for Riverton. And you see that a lot on special teams plays. Guys running 100 miles an hour in the opposite direction, and sometimes you just have those big hits. But Cooper's all right, back out there, ready to go for this second offensive possession of the game. Haviland in the shotgun set. He's going to run the option and keep it himself for now. He's got Jero behind him. Haviland finds a little bit of seam, cuts up back inside. Haviland going across the field. He's got running room. He's got one man to beat, and he's going to hesitate. And a flag does come out as Connor Haviland gets down to about the 16-yard line. That one started at the 37, so that's going to be a 47-yard run. There is a flag on the play. We'll see what the flag is. "47-yard run if it stands." White hat discussing. Got a face mask on the offense, and Haviland delivering the stiff arm, and Coach Wyrick trying to get an explanation. Nodded his head. It wasn't a very happy nod, I can tell you that. Now Joshua Hull asking what happened as well. So it'll just be a 5-yard face mask penalty, so the 47-yard run will stand, and then a 5-yard penalty will back him up just a hair. So still a big play for the Humboldt offense. Haviland shotgun set. He's going to look to throw, and this one nearly picked off through the hands of the defender. Cobalt picks it up, then he fumbles, picks it up again, and Kyle Cobalt just going to go to the ground smartly with it, as Humboldt lucky to keep possession, as that one was nearly turned over twice on the play. Humboldt will retain possession. However, it will set up a 2nd and 15 after the 5-yard loss. Haviland in the offense getting the call from the sideline, and every player on the team has that wristband with all the plays on it, and so everybody looks down at the same time. Full house backfield with Haviland. Haviland going to give to Cooper Jero. Jero right up the gut, still moving, and it's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it. And White Hat signals that's a first down. Be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. So Humboldt still can pick up a first down. However, it would have to be at the 1-yard line. So essentially first and goal. Feels like first and goal anyway, however, just 1st and 10 from the 11. The offense getting the play call. Haviland shotgun set, running back behind him. Give's going to be to J-Row up the middle, and J-Row lowers his head, driving his feet, going to pick up about 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 6-yard line. So Humboldt in a great scoring position here, 2:12 and counting to go in the first quarter. Much different than last week, as Humboldt was all over Erie early and often. Actually, I guess it was that second quarter that was the big one. Empty backfield. Haviland going to keep it himself, makes a move. Now still going, breaks a tackle, still driving those feet. And Connor Haviland going to end up picking up about a yard. And it was all Connor Haviland on that play. They had an empty backfield, and he made a look as he was going to throw out to the right and try to keep it himself. Had a defender right in his face, was able to evade that tackler and broke another tackle, ends up picking up a yard. It's going to set up 3rd and 4 from the 5. Again, 4-down territory. Humboldt, no desire to kick field goals, excuse me. I'm sure they actually had the desire, just no real kicker on the team as far as kicking field goals. So, shotgun set again for Haviland. He's going to the left side, and he's going to be drugged down in the backfield. A big loss on the play, on the tackle for Riverton, number 32, Derek Larison. So that's going to set up a 4th and 10. Again, Humboldt can pick up a first down at the 1-yard line. Looks like it's even going to be inside the 1-yard line if they get the first down. So a 4th down play where Humboldt likely going to be looking towards the end zone. Coach Wyrick getting the play call in. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Players all getting set. J-Row offset in the backfield, and we've got a timeout going to be called by Humboldt. And we're going to keep things here because, again, nobody's in the studio. So to all of our sponsors, if you are listening on the live stream, I cannot apologize enough to you because as of right now, we have no sponsors that we can air over the air. I apologize. Unbelievably technical difficulties is the only thing that I can really call it. Nobody at the studio. Therefore, Destiny, my board op, was unable to get into the studio and get everything set up on the AM or the FM. However, the live stream, I can control putting it on the air as far as my end goes, but I can't play the ads. So to all of our sponsors, again, I apologize sincerely. We'll do everything we can to make that up to you over the next couple of weeks and hopefully into the playoffs, bearing how the season goes, of course. So big 4th down play here for the Cubs. This is a big game for both teams as both teams come into this game 2-0 in district play. The winner of this game is almost guaranteed a playoff spot. So Haviland shotgun set, and let's see who moved first. The wide receiver on the far side jumped. However, the defensive end on the near side jumped as well. And they're going to call that one on Riverton. So 5 yards for Humboldt. That'll make this a little bit easier. Still need to get 5 for the first down, 6 for the touchdown. Going to be the same play call. 2 receivers near side. Haviland gets the snap. Shows handoff, going to keep it himself. He's got room on the right side. Haviland's in there. Touchdown, Humboldt. And a great play call from Coach Wyrick. A kind of hesitated handoff, and Haviland decided to keep it himself. Gets to that right corner just inside the pylon. And with 23.9 seconds to go in the first quarter, Humboldt takes their first lead of the game, 6-0. Humboldt Cubs again going to go for 2 as they have done all season long. Coach Wyrick going to get the play call in, and We've seen many times in this situation a swinging gate formation, a whatever you want to call that formation when they put linemen way out wide on each side. Looks like a more traditional formation this time. Could be Haviland in the backfield. Breyer Orth in motion. Fake to Orth. Haviland going to go right up the middle, and he'll be in there. Conversion is good. 8-0 Humboldt. Again, 23.9 seconds to go. And again, no commercial breaks here tonight, at least for now. However, as I do have some time, I've got some pregame notes I was going to go over, and I've got plenty of time now, so we can do that right now. Connor Haviland already over 70 yards rushing on the night. He came into this one with 1,077 yards on the season. That's the third best number in the entire state of Kansas, the second best number in 11-man football in the state of Kansas. Haviland averaging 16.8 yards per carry, 215 yards a game. He's also got 21 touchdowns on the season. Isaiah Coronado, the leading running back as far as it goes. You want to call Connor Haviland a true athlete. We can't call him a running back. He lines up at quarterback. So Isaiah Coronado actually the leading running back, 41 carries, 298 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Cooper J-Rowe also getting some action in the backfield, 12 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Passing-wise, it's kind of been split between Haviland and Page. Haviland 11 of 21, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns and an interception. Gavin Page on the other side, 4 of 8, 68 yards, and a touchdown. No picks for him. Jackson Akins, Cooper J-Rowe, and Isaiah Coronado all have a receiving touchdown along with a couple of receptions. Titan Michael, Breyer Orth, Kyle Cobald with some receptions as well. Ball's on the ground for Riverton after the kickoff, and tackle quickly made as Riverton will have the ball at the 26-yard line. On the return that time was Hunter Crowder, and Crowder, didn't get it on the camera. Didn't field that one cleanly, so the ball was momentarily on the ground. So the Humboldt defense going to come back out there. So first play, a run up the middle. It's going to pick up about 5. Like that was Ethan Shaver. Coming into this one tonight, Humboldt averaging 50.4 points per game, giving up 12.8 points a game, and a shutout here in the first quarter. So that's now 9 consecutive quarters without giving up a point for the Humboldt Cubs. And you love to see that. Great defense the Cubs have been showing over the last couple of weeks. Offense going to have to turn it on here a little bit. Give some credit to the Riverton defense as well, as they've played pretty well. But Humboldt an 8-0 lead as we go into the second quarter. Guess I can show you the scoreboard. You'd probably like to see that. An 8-0. Sorry about the glare on that one. Nothing I can really do about that right now. We didn't open the windows tonight because, as I mentioned earlier, it's a little chilly out there. It's definitely one of the cooler nights we've had this season. The coolest night we've had this season. Actually a freeze warning this evening. So if you are here at the game or outside in general, try to stay warm tonight. If you're trying to save plants or anything, cover them up. But just know that probably not going to have to mow anymore this year because hopefully it freezes and kills some of that grass off. The Humboldt defense back out there. The give to Shaver on the end around, and Shaver's got some running room. He's going to pick up enough for the first down. He picks up about 9. That was Will Shaver that time. Will Shaver, a junior, and Ethan Shaver, a senior. Oh, those two have done the bulk of the running here tonight. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Snap, handoff inside. It's going to be pick up about 3. I believe that was Ethan Shaver. Wait till he gets up to confirm that one. It was Ethan Shaver. So we've only seen one real pass attempt from Bryce Johnson. It was a pretty good throw, just well defended by Humboldt. Little surprised that Riverton hasn't attempted to throw a little more. However, the running game seems like they're getting big chunks, and then all of a sudden the drives just stall. So I think they're going to try to commit to that running game and see if they can't keep it going. Johnson under center, handoff, ball's on the ground, and that one is ultimately picked up. Originally handed off to Will Shaver, and then Hunter Crowder, the sophomore, was coming back across the field in the other direction and didn't get the handoff cleanly. So that's going to set up a big loss. Going to be 3rd and 14. Humboldt defense with a chance to get off the field once again. I would expect a pass play here, but you never know. Crowder in motion. Handoff going to go right up the gut. Ethan Shaver. Shaver's going to pick up about 6.5, maybe 7. So that's going to set up a 3rd, and we'll call it 6, a long 6. But again, probably a sure punting formation, or punting situation. We'll see if they get into punting formation. Yeah, that will be a punting formation. It's number 25, Jaden Faircloth, the junior. A bit of a wobbly snap, and that one nearly blocked. This one gets away, and need to watch out in a great bounce for Riverton. Ball will be downed at the 21-yard line. And that is where Humboldt will take over. So Humboldt leading 8-0, 9:55 to go in the second quarter. Wind has died down considerably, as this afternoon that wind was whipping pretty good. It was arguably cooler at about 3, 4 o'clock than it was at kickoff. However, that sun went down and it has cooled off a bit. Just thankfully not a whole lot of wind out right now. So I'm sure the players are cold. It's a little chilly up here in the box, but no wind at all up here, so I'm sure that helps. Makes it feel a little bit warmer. Haviland shotgun set and fakes the handoff. Haviland goes to the right side, trying to evade tacklers, nearly fumbles the football, manages to hold on as Haviland will pick up the first down. He'll pick up about 10.5, maybe 11. Again, enough for the first down. Ball's going to be spotted at the Humboldt 32-yard line. Offense getting the play call. Full house backfield back there with Haviland. Haviland's going to give it to Cooper Jaro on the right side. Jaro breaking tackles and then tackled around his ankles. Going to be another 11-yard. Actually, they're going to give Jaro 12 on that one. So 12 yards for Cooper Jaro. It'll be another Humboldt first down. Full house backfield once again. Jaro avoiding a tackle in the backfield, now driving his feet. Going to pick up about 5, so pretty good drive here going for Humboldt as they picked up 11, 12, and now 5. But the Humboldt offense, although no big chunk plays outside of the big run by Haviland, seems like they're finally getting a good consistent drive going, which is something you really like to see. Same formation once again, receiver to each side with the full house backfield. Haviland gets the snap, fakes it to Breyer Orth, now running left, cuts back up inside to the right, and it'll be enough for the first down. It's going to be a gain of about 8 for Connor Haviland. So Haviland getting close to that 100-yard mark already. However, he averages over 200 a game, so that 100-yard mark means essentially nothing to Connor Haviland. Same formation once again. Haviland going to give it to J-Row, and J-Row met at the line of scrimmage, actually might be about a yard back. And a good play by the front four of Riverton. As Cooper J-Row just stuffed right there for a 1-yard loss. That'll set up a 2nd and 11. So Cubs getting the play call. Their first time they've been in 2nd and 10 or more since that first drive of the first quarter, when things were looking pretty bad momentarily, as they had a, I think, 2nd and 30 at one point. Haviland going to be in the shotgun set, full house. He's going to keep this one himself. Thought about throwing the ball. Now Haviland just making some moves, tiptoeing down the sideline. And that official is going to say he stepped out at the 34-yard line. I couldn't see from here myself. And Coach Wyrick saying something to the official. I don't know if his argument was he avoided the white or not, but nonetheless going to set up a 3rd and 1. This is one of those situations where, man, I wish they would go under center and just stuff this ball right under Taylor Lastman's butt, just follow him. But Humboldt goes in shotgun about 99% of the time. Ooh, and Haviland gets the jump. That's going to be a 1st down. Yeah, that's going to be encroachment on the defense. A good job by the Humboldt offense. 1st down, Humboldt. Great job by Connor Haviland, going with the hard count, getting someone to jump. Haviland gets the snap, gives to Cobalt up the middle. Cobalt going to pick up about 3, and Humboldt, as normal, committed to running the football, but going with all kinds of different ways tonight, as Isaiah Coronado, to my knowledge, has not been on the field yet. See if we can't get an explanation about that. I'm sure he was upset last week, but don't want to speculate a whole lot as to why he's not out there. Haviland shotgun set, J-Row behind him. The give is to Cooper J-Row. Big hole on the left side. Ball comes out, and looked like Riverton jumped on that one. And Riverton will take over at the 25-yard line. And that is exactly what you didn't want to happen, as Humboldt was just driving down the field. I guess the one decent thing you can take away from this is that Riverton doesn't have great field position. But still a tough break as Cooper J-Row puts one on the ground. Well, Johnson, the quarterback, gives to Shaver. Shaver goes up the middle, picks up about 11. Jackson Akins on the tackle. That's a 1st down for Riverton. It's a big 10-yard gain. Again, Johnson under center. Gives it to Ethan Shaver once again. And Shaver, man, Shaver's a big dude. They don't have heights and weights listed on the roster, but Ethan Shaver, he was just standing up next to Joshua Hull, and Hall's got about 6-7 inches on him in height, which he has on about everybody. As far as build goes, Shaver was bigger. Shaver's a big old boy. He's just a steamroller back there. This time it's going to be Will Shaver. Will Shaver, much more elusive, but hitting the holes just as well. There was a flag back at the 43-yard line. We'll see what this is. Looks like it's going to be a hold on Riverton, so that explains why the hole was so big for Will Shaver. So the hold on Riverton is going to push the ball back to the 32-yard line. So that's going to set up a 2nd and about 15 for the Rams. Johnson under center. Ethan Shaver for getting the ball up the middle, just driving those feet. Man, he's a bowling ball up there, and it seems like right now Humboldt just looks like a bunch of pins. Humboldt's got to find a way to cut down Ethan Shaver because he is just moving like crazy. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for Riverton. It's going to be a pass this time. Johnson still moving back. Now looking to throw, looks over across the field, and ooh, nearly caught, but ball's just dropped. Like Derek Alarison, the intended receiver, the tight end. A tough break for Riverton. However, 3rd and 4. Interesting situation to be made here as Humboldt receives the kickoff in the second half. And it appears Riverton will look to punt. Cooper J-Rowe going to go back to return this one. High snap. Punt will get away. It's a high spiraling kick, and it goes out of bounds. So Humboldt will take over. Ref still spotting. Keep walking. Keep on walking. Ref's going to stop at the 33-yard line. So Humboldt will take over possession there. Again, Humboldt breaking out the solid orange tonight. It looks pretty good if you ask me. It's a sharp contrast from when they wear the solid black. I kind of like the solid orange with the black helmets. Reminds me of kind of when Oklahoma State throws different jerseys out there every game. Haviland calling the plays. Actually looking to his receivers now. If he's changing the play, it's going to be an end around or a jet sweep anyway. Looks like that was Briar Orth. And Orth going to be cut down. And after a fumble by J-Rowe on the last play, Briar Orth getting cut down, Isaiah Coronado is going to head out onto the field. And to my knowledge, this is be his first play of the game. Coronado wearing the white sleeves tonight. I think he's about the only guy wearing white sleeves tonight. Coronado ready to go. Haviland shotgun set, Coronado right next to him. Haviland just going to keep this one himself. He didn't even hesitate or anything. He just drove those feet and took off. Picks up about 5, so that'll set up a 3rd and 10. As Haviland gets just, it looks about a half a yard inside the original line of scrimmage, but still sets up a 3rd and 10. Offense getting the play call now. Haviland and Coronado in the backfield. Coronado back there just blocking. Haviland now looking to run. He's got a little bit of room. Makes a move outside. A good block on the outside. Now Haviland's got all kinds of room on the sideline. Makes a move on one man. Now cutting it back inside. And Connor Haviland will score. This one from 67 yards out. No flags on the field. Riverton wanted a blindside block. That just seemed like a pretty good block to me on the far side of the field. Couldn't tell you who it was, but a 67-yard run, and I missed it on the camera, and my excitement is now gone because I missed it on the camera. One heck of a play by Connor Haviland, and I apologize that I missed that. It's been an interesting night on the broadcast side. I'll say that much. And again, to the parents, fans, sponsors. We apologize. It's been kind of a cruddy night, but we're going to get things squared up here sooner or later. Haviland going to keep it on the conversion, and he will get dropped for a loss, so the conversion will be no good. That'll make the score 14-0, 2:57 to go in the second quarter. Cubs will be kicking off and trying to hold Riverton scoreless to make it 10 consecutive scoreless quarters for the defense if they can hold up. Riverton's kind of had some bad luck, or I guess you could say Humboldt's just figured things out about midway through all of these drives. As Riverton has had a lot of success running the football, especially with Ethan Shaver. Will Shaver a little bit as well. But it just seems like they pick up 20 or 30 yards on a drive and it stalls out. So hopefully Humboldt can keep it up, as they're just under 3 minutes away from their 10th consecutive scoreless quarter. Haviland's got it teed up. And it's going to be another high kickoff. This one fielded at the 19. It's Will Shaver. He's got some room on the outside, and Shaver's got a lot of room. And it appears Connor Haviland will make the tackle on the far side of the field. So Riverton going to take over at the 41-yard line. They've got a little bit under 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact, to try to get some points on the board for the first time tonight. It's going to be Bryce Johnson under center once again. It's time to give to Ethan Shaver. Shaver driving those feet, still going, as he will pick up about 6. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Rams. Like Cooper Jaro and Taylor Lastman combining for the tackle for Humboldt. Oh, Riverton breaking the huddle. Johnson going to be in shotgun. That's the shortest shotgun I've ever seen. And looks like a little bit of a busted play. And in the backfield that time for Humboldt, number 61, Blake Walker, making a big play for the Humboldt defense. That's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for Riverton. And if Humboldt can get a stop here, wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Wyrick use one of his timeouts. Riverton really not in much of a hurry right now, as we don't want to give Humboldt much time to score. The 1:30 mark and counting. Bryce Johnson in the shotgun set. Johnson looking to throw. He's got a man, and it's thrown behind his intended receiver. Intended receiver looked like number 26, Walker Mallett. And that'll stop the clock, the incomplete pass. So Humboldt doesn't have to use a timeout this time. They'll have 2 remaining after the, what I assume to be punt, as Johnson walking off the field. So Humboldt going to have 2 returners this time. Cooper Jaro and Gunnar Elder going to join him this time. Good snap. And it's going to be a wobbly kick this time. Caught by Elder, and man, caught in traffic. Elder cutting it upfield, and a risky play by Gunnar Elder, but nonetheless, he's going to pick up close to 15 yards on the return. So Humboldt going to have the ball at the 43-yard line with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go. A prime situation to try to get some free points, if you want to call them that, right before halftime. So Haviland and the offense break the huddle. Haviland gets the snap, going to look to throw, rolling out to the right side. He's got Cobalt open, but now Haviland going to look to run, steps out of bounds, which smart play stops the clock after a pickup of about 7. Only using 7 seconds on the clock. So if you're going to do math, they had 71 seconds and 57 yards to go, and they picked up 7 yards in 7 seconds. So the pace is going all right for now. At that pace, they're going to score with about 15, 20 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if they can keep this pace up. So offense getting the play call in. Going to be a full house backfield. Snap to Haviland, looking to throw once again. He's got Elder, and Elder was pushed. Man, yeah, the flag comes out. Elder had a hand. That's Jackson Akins. Akins had a hand in his back, went down to try to make the catch, but clearly pushed. And we'll see where they move this flag to. Not that it really matters, but it'll be I believe it's a 10-yard penalty in the high school game. We're going to get pass interference on the defense. Let's make a first down. It's a 15-yard penalty. So Cubs going to be at the Riverton 35-yard line. 59 seconds to go. Humboldt getting the play call in. And Jackson Akins went early, so Humboldt going to have to move 5 yards back. Akins, tough break there. He was excited and wanted to go score. I guess he thought maybe they were going to throw a deep ball to him. We'll never know. So Haviland in the shotgun. Haviland looking to run to the right side. He's got a little bit of room, cuts it upfield. Might have been smarter to get out of bounds on that one. Clock at 45 seconds and counting. Humboldt hurrying back to the line. Good job getting the play call in quickly. It's going to be an option left side. Haviland going to keep it himself up the middle, makes a move to the right, and we'll see where the ball's spotted. Is this enough for a first down? They've stopped the clock, and Humboldt's going to use a timeout either way. We'll see what kind of spot they give him. Nose of the ball looks like it's touching the white. And they're going to call it third down for now, it appears. So Humboldt getting their offense back out onto the field. It's going to be a 3rd and inches, which is kind of a tough situation to be in because if you go a quick run up the middle, the clock will continue to run. This board shows Humboldt has 2 timeouts left. And they do run it right up the gut. It looked like it was a direct snap to Kyle Cobalt. And the offense doing a good job of getting back out there and set. The clock did stop momentarily to reset the chains. They're only going to lose about 6 or 7 seconds. Now looking to throw as a great pass, great block on the outside. Isaiah Coronado going to score a great hookup. That pass was unbelievable by Connor Haviland. Haviland threw that ball before Coronado even made his break. What a great throw by Connor Haviland, who, let's just be honest, is not a true quarterback. He's just an athlete, and he made one heck of a throw. Isaiah Coronado doing a great job locating the ball, and I don't want to speculate too much, but I think that was Drake Harrington on the far side of the block. A great block, whoever it was, nonetheless. Haviland was giving the end around to Coronado. It's going to be blown dead. And they're going to have to scoot back 5 yards and try the conversion all over again. So the Cub offense going to stay out for the conversion. Currently 20-0, 15.9 seconds left, and the clock will not run on the conversion. Haviland getting all kinds of pressure on him, now looking to run, and this one's going to go nowhere. Conversion's going to be no good, so it's going to be 20-0. Humboldt on top, 15.9 seconds to go here in the second quarter. So a pretty decent first half so far if you're a Humboldt fan. And coming into this one, Humboldt averaging just over 50 a game and giving up just a tick over 12 per game. So shutout looking good as they're 15.9 seconds away from having their 10th consecutive shutout quarter. And that was after that amazing finish in Eureka. But so far in district play, nonetheless, Humboldt has not given up a single point. So kickoff team out there and anxious to see what kind of kickoff they go with. If they just go ahead and kick it deep, or they want to do a little bit of a squib kick here. We'll see. Haviland going to be out there to do the kicking duties. Kicking from his own 40-yard line. Everybody's ready, and Haviland, it's going to be a line drive squib kick, and this one picked up at about the 3-yard line, and thank goodness a tackle nearly made by Riverton's own player. Will Shaver brings it out to about the 12. And with 8.3 seconds to left, I envision this is probably going to be the last play. Either a run or even just a kneel down to get out of this half with no more damage. Johnson going to be under center. It's going to be a handoff to Ethan Shaver. And they're going to let this one run out. So at halftime, Humboldt leads Riverton 20-0. A great half of football. If you're a fan of the Humboldt Cubs, if you're a Riverton fan, not the best. It's probably not been a great night so far, but we got a 15-minute halftime. It is homecoming here tonight, and I saw it on Twitter. Don't have a great memory, and it appears that, yes, they will be doing the crowning of King and Queen here at halftime, so I'm probably going to kill my mic, or set it down anyway, and may just let you guys enjoy the show, see as much as you can anyway, but for now, I'm going to take a quick break. Again, I can't play any ads for you as we got locked out of the studio. I'm sure we'll have an explanation for you at some point. May not be tonight, but again, at some point, hopefully we will have some sort of explanation on that one. So for now, we're going to set the mics down and take a little bit of a break. welcome back if you have been listening, and if you were watching anyway, and you were kind of watching that halftime show. They did have homecoming here today, and congratulations to Kyle Kobold and Elena Johnson as they were announced the homecoming king and queen here tonight. So congratulations to both of them. Congratulations to all of the candidates, Kyle Kobold, as well as Connor Haviland, Isaiah Coronado, and Taylor Lastman, king candidates. Queen candidates, of course, Elena Johnson, Winter Snyder, Emma Johnson, and Ty Selman. Congratulations to all 8 of the candidates, especially the 2 winners of the King and Queen. So we're about to get underway here the second half. Riverton, their first kickoff of the game, will come at the second half kickoff. Cooper Jaro back deep. It's going to be an onside kick. About got me off guard, which kind of hasn't been a shock that I wouldn't keep the camera on point anyway. I've had a little bit of trouble doing that tonight. That's on me. But based upon some of the other issues we've had tonight, like me struggling with the camera is probably the least amount of our worries tonight. So Humboldt will take over in Riverton territory at the 49-yard line. Looked like that was number 6, Titan Michael, on the recovery of the attempted onside kick. So Humboldt will take over there. Haviland gets the snap, running to the right side. He's going to keep this one himself. And Haviland will pick up about 4, so that'll bring up a 2nd and 6 here on the first drive of the second half. Haviland, the quarterback, or the athlete, as I like to call him. Full house backfield. Kyle Kobold to one side, Cooper Jaro to the other, and Isaiah Coronado behind them all. Haviland calling for the snap. Going to look to throw. This one's going to be intended for Jackson Akins. Akins well covered, and the pass was severely underthrown, and that might have been an intentional underthrow, as the coverage was great. On the coverage was Will Shaver for Riverton. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Humboldt offense. Humboldt trying to see if they can't get a little bit of the passing game working tonight. That one unsuccessful. Offense getting the play call in. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Haviland gets the snap, going to keep it himself, running to the right side. He's got a little bit of a room, hits the hole, and will pick up enough for the first down as Connor Haviland picks up about 9 after needing 6 on the play. So that'll give Humboldt a first down at the 36-yard line of Riverton. Humboldt getting the play call once again from Coach Wyrick. Play clock now down to 13 and counting. Play finally in. And Humboldt now getting set. 5 seconds. Haviland snap. Looks to give to Kobold and decides to pull it out and keep it himself. Now Haviland trying to make something happen. There will be a illegal block in the backfield. Haviland making a play out of this. However, I feel like this one's coming back as 3 different officials saw that one to be a legal block in the back, and Joshua Hall has about as guilty of a look as you can see on an offensive lineman, just going over his coach and saying, "Hey, man," and the white hat just pointing at Joshua Hall saying, yeah, "This is the guy that did it." And unfortunate for the Humboldt Cubs, as Connor Haviland made a great play on that after what looked like was going to be nothing, and the block in the back by Hall wasn't extremely needed either, but nonetheless, penalty's a penalty. It's going to bring it back quite a bit. It's going to bring up first and about 23. First and 23. 3 receivers to the far side. Now Coronado motioning that way. It's probably going to be a screen pass. I'm going to call a false start on the offense. So moving back 5 yards. And now first and 28. And this is exactly how the first drive of the first half started. Humboldt just moving in the absolute wrong direction. Oh, it's going to be the same play, and yeah, it's going to be a screen pass, and technically that's going to be a run, but Coronado's got all kinds of room to run, and going to be knocked out of bounds. Coronado looked like he was stumbling and took a big hit, but picks up 20. Oh, and they say he stepped out. Oh, that's an unfortunate break, because obviously I cannot see that sideline, but still a pickup of about 18, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 10. So Haviland gets the snap, looking to throw. He's throwing one towards the end zone and just overthrown as Akins had beat his man. And it was one-on-one coverage down there, but just a little bit overthrown. So that'll set up a 3rd and 10 for Humboldt. So a big 3rd down for Humboldt. See if they can't pick some or all of this up. It's likely a 4-down territory. Man in motion, and it's going to be an option play. And Haviland trying to run away. Haviland's got some room on the sideline. He's going to pick up, we'll see, about half of it. So it'll set up a 4th and 5, which is okay. Even a turnover at this situation wouldn't be all that bad, as Riverton wouldn't have good field position, but 4th and closer to 6, but 4th down and manageable, especially after the 1st and 28. So an awkward formation. It's going to be a strong formation to the left side as Joshua Hull moved over that way. And Haviland cuts it upfield, still driving his feet. Haviland will not get enough for the 1st down, as Riverton will take over at their own 29-yard line. So Riverton taking over. Gibbs going to be to Will Shaver. And Will Shaver still driving his feet, but will pick up about 3 on the play. So that'll set up a 2nd and 7. Shaver in motion. Johnson gets the snap, looking to throw, and he will throw to Will Shaver. Shaver having to go to the ground to make the catch. So going to set up about a 3rd and 4. We'll see if the Humboldt defense can't get off the field. So this one's going to go right up the gut. And Humboldt doing a good job making the stop. He does pick up about half of it, so it's going to set up about a 4th and 2. We'll see what Riverton tries to do here. So Riverton going to go for it. The give is to Shaver up the gut, and it's going to be close. Ultimately, I think he did get it. We'll see where they spot this. Yeah, it's going to be a first down for Riverton. So Riverton very risky going for it, especially that far in their own territory, but they do pick up the first down. Johnson looking to throw, going to take a shot deep, and this one will be underthrown. Pass will fall incomplete. We'll bring up a 2nd and 10. There is a flag on the play holding on the offense, so they'll scoot him back 10 yards. So 2nd and 20. It's going to be an end around jet sweep to Will Shaver, and Shaver will be pushed out of bounds. A little bit of extracurricular on the sidelines over there, but nonetheless, Gunnar Elder makes his way out of the scrum on the Riverton sideline. And to set up about a 2nd and 16. Riverton breaking the huddle. It's going to be a pass to the far side. Pass is complete. It's going to go for about 6, maybe 7 yards, but that's going to set up a 3rd and 9 for the Riverton offense. Once again, a great opportunity for Humboldt. However, Riverton has shown on this drive that they are not afraid to go for it on 4th down. It's going to be a pass once again, throwing away from his body, and that's going to fall incomplete. And it's going to bring up a 4th and long 9, and that brings up an interesting situation for Riverton, and it looks as though they will punt. Snap does get away and nearly blocked, but a pretty decent punt. However, it will be kicked out of bounds, so this one will likely be moved up quite a bit. The official's still going, and he will stop at the 38-yard line, and that is where the Cubs offense will take over. Cubs offense out there. Haviland will get the snap. Give's going to be to Coronado, and Coronado's got all kinds of running room. Room down the right sideline. Going to hesitate, try to cut back upfield, takes a hit, stays on his feet. Now the ball comes out. And Riverton's got it, and that's the second time tonight that there has been great plays made by the Humboldt offense, and ultimately towards the end of the run, coughed it up, and Riverton will take over. So Riverton offense out on the field. It's going to be Ethan Shaver, and he gets tripped up after a gain of about 2. So 2nd down and 8 for Riverton. They've got the ball at their own 45-yard line. Man in motion. The give is to Will Shaver. Shaver's got room out there on the outside, and a good job, Kyle Cobalt, not making the tackle, but slowing him up just enough to allow helpers to get there. It looks, though, as if the first down will be picked up. It was a gain of about 11. But if Cobalt doesn't make that initial hit, that play could have gone for another 15 or 20 yards potentially. So Riverton on the Humboldt side of the field, now the ball at the 45-yard line. Give to Shaver. Now the handoff goes back inside. That's number 4, Hunter Crowder, excuse me. And Crowder will pick up about 2. And Riverton's got a couple of tricky plays up their sleeve. However, the last time they tried that one, they ended up fumbling it. Speed Hepker and Briar Orth coming together to make that tackle. Johnson going to go under center this time. It's going to be Ethan Shaver up the middle, and Shaver falling down, still driving those feet. And I've got to tell you, Ethan Shaver might be the most impressive back I've seen on another team this year. Just a bruising tailback who never slows up and keeps those feet going the entire time. So a 3rd, and we'll call it 4. Gives to Shaver once again. He's going to pick up about 4.5, maybe 5, so he will pick up the first down. Blake Walker making the stop. But it's going to be a 1st and 10 for Riverton, as they're now at the Humboldt 34-yard line, 3:36 to go. Again, Humboldt still leading this one 20-0. We are late into the 3rd quarter. Riverton going to go up the gut once again. Looks like that was Ethan Shaver once again, and Shaver picking up about 3, and it's kind of pretty much what this whole drive has been, 2, 3, and then occasionally a big 5 or 6 yard pickup, but a good, consistent drive for the Rams as they're looking to get back in this game. Johnson going to go under center, give to Will Shaver, and he cuts it back up field. Shaver gets to about the 26-yard line, so that'll set up a 2nd and 4. Sorry, I apologize. It's getting a little chilly up here in the booth, so I decided to put my extra jacket on. If it sounded like I was struggling, that's because my hoodie started to choke me out. So 3rd and 2, Johnson under center is going to give it to Ethan Shaver. And Shaver spinning. I don't think he picked up the first down. Well, now the FAR official moved up about a foot, so they might give it to him. And White hat official signals the first down. The ball will be at the 23-yard line. Riverton inching closer and closer to the red zone. Johnson says something to his center and backs up into shotgun. It's going to be Will Shaver coming around the edge, and Shaver breaking tackles. And Kyle Cobalt, he was reaching in there trying to get that ball out, but Cobalt in the end does make the tackle after a pickup of just about 1. Bring up a 2nd and 9 from just a little outside the 22. We'll call it 22.5-yard line. Bryce Johnson getting the call from his coach. Now goes into the huddle. Play clock down to 10. Johnson under center. Will Shaver in motion. This is going to be a pass. He's got a man on the right side. It is caught and met immediately on the far side. You can't tell who that was. Gunnar Elder. Hunter Crowder was the receiver on the play. That's going to be 3rd and about 5, 4.5, 5. We'll be generous and call it 5. 30 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Johnson going to go under center. Gives to Ethan Shaver right up the gut, and he's going to be a little short. That's going to set up a 4th and 2. That will likely be the last play of the quarter. We'll see. It looks like they're going to be content taking this one to the 4th. So the 11th consecutive scoreless quarter for the Humboldt defense, which is definitely something to be proud of. However, Riverton looking to score for the first time in this game, as they'll have a 4th and 2 from the Humboldt 16 as we return to action in the 4th quarter. So teams back out there here to start the 4th quarter. A big 4th down and a long 2 for the Riverton offense. Bryce Johnson going to go under center. Both Shavers behind him. This one's going to be a give to Ethan Shaver, and he was hit in the backfield but broke the tackle, still driving those feet. Who was that in the backfield? Looked like number 60, Taylor Lastman, nearly had the stop, but once Shaver got past Lastman, he had all kinds of running room and ultimately gets it down all the way to the 3-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Rams. Again, Humboldt now leading 20-0 here at the start of the 4th quarter, but Riverton getting ready to strike. Johnson under center. He's got Shaver behind him. Shaver looks to score and does not get in. It's going to be a gain of about 1, so a good job by the Humboldt front 4 to cut Shaver down. It's going to bring up a 2nd and goal as we move closer and closer now to the 11-minute mark of the 4th quarter. So both Shavers in the backfield now, man in motion. And this time it will be a touchdown. It appears that was Ethan Shaver. Ethan Shaver will score the touchdown. So with 10:51 to go, that'll make it 20-6. Humboldt still on top. And Riverton looking to go for 2, similar to Humboldt. Johnson in the shotgun set for the conversion. Going to look to throw to the right side. He's got a man open, and this one will be caught over there in the corner. Number 1, Will Shaver, the recipient. So just like that, Humboldt with a 12-point lead. They still lead 20-8, 10:51 to go in the 4th quarter. But things just got a little bit more interesting as the Humboldt offense in the 3rd quarter couldn't get anything going. So we'll see if the Humboldt offense can't get back on track here in the 4th quarter. Outside of the Eureka game, which was, again, an incredible 4th quarter, an incredible final couple of minutes of football for the Humboldt Cubs, outside of that game, Humboldt has essentially done nothing in the 4th quarter, and mainly because they haven't needed to. We've had a lot of subs in at that point, or just ultimately taking their foot off the brake or off the gas pedal. So, not a situation that Humboldt has had to be in so far this year, to where the other team's got a little bit of momentum. You still got the lead, but you've got to figure out how to, 1, keep the lead, 2, use some clock, which power running game, that's how you get the clock going. And here's the kickoff for Riverton. Got to watch an onside kick. It'll be a squib, and this one's still bouncing, and Drake Harrington smartly just falling on it. Excuse me, that was number 23, Gavin Page. So Humboldt will take over 1st and 10 from the Humboldt 29-yard line. And the ultimate goal here is run a lot of clock. Scoring would be nice as well. So Haviland will be in the shotgun set. Coronado behind him. The handoff is to Coronado. Coronado trying to bounce this one outside, and he goes absolutely nowhere. And if you're Humboldt, that was probably worst case scenario. Riverton already feeling a little bit of momentum as they felt good about that last offensive drive. And then boom, first play on defense. They stuffed Coronado for a 2.5 yard loss. And Humboldt really going to have to see if they can't get something going, because it's pretty quiet over here in the stands on the Humboldt side. Haviland shotgun set once again. Going to look to throw the screen pass, and this one is dropped, and the official saying that's incomplete, and that was borderline a backwards pass, but nonetheless it'll fall incomplete. But now 3rd and 12, so Humboldt not picking up yards, throwing an incomplete pass to stop the clock. Riverton's probably feeling a lot more confident even than they were 40 seconds ago. So a big 3rd down for Humboldt, probably even bigger for the Riverton defense. Haviland looking to throw. He really doesn't have anything. Now looking back to the left side. It's going to be a foot race. Haviland going to have to try to make a move back inside. That's a high tackle, and ultimately no call will be made. Connor Haviland not real thrilled about it either. But this is a sure punting situation as you're just at your own 30-yard line. Haviland did pick up a couple of yards, but it's going to be 4th and 9, 9.5. On the bright side, Haviland's first punt was poor. Haviland's got a good foot on him. Riverton clearly not expecting a good punt. We'll see. Haviland, a great punt by Connor Haviland. Let's see if this thing can take a little bit of a bounce, too. This one's already inside the 10. It's going to be down close. It's going to be right on the 15-yard line. Heck of a punt. That's a 55-yard punt with no return by Connor Haviland. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's just the special teams. As much momentum that Riverton had, that special teams play and that great punt by Connor Haviland was just huge because Riverton's still down 2 scores. They've got the entire length of the football field to go. We cannot downplay how great of a punt that was. So Haviland hasn't played a whole lot of defense here tonight. He's in there now at the safety position. This time the give is going to be to the right side. They said Crowder. That was Will Shaver. Shaver slow to get up as well. Had to be helped up by his teammates and walked slowly back to the huddle. So Bryce Johnson going to go back under center. This one's going to be given to Crowder. Crowder trying to make a move on the far side, and Crowder picks up about a yard. So it's going to set up a 3rd and 7. And the Humboldt defense doing everything they can. I'm telling you, that punt took a little bit of the momentum away from Riverton. They were feeling good, had a good stop, thought they were going to get the ball a pretty decent field position, but you can kind of tell even the sideline over there after that punt was kind of feeling that oh no feeling, but they've got a 3rd and 7 here and a big play for the Humboldt defense. Man in motion, and Johnson looking to throw. Now he just throws this one up. He's got a man wide open, and that's caught, and Connor Haviland made a touchdown-saving tackle. And Cooper Jaro nearly batted that one away. Good concentration on the catch. But Connor Haviland tripping up the ankles, and if Haviland doesn't make that tackle, that's likely a touchdown. So Riverton's offense probably feeling good after that play. Johnson back under center. The give to Ethan Shaver, and Shaver's going to pick up 2. Gets the ball up to about the 46-yard line of Riverton. So 2nd and 8 for the Rams. Now down to the 7:20 mark and counting. So Riverton, time not on their side at all. Johnson gets the snap, looking to throw, looking to his left side. Now just going to rear back and let one fly. That's a heck of a throw. Oh, and a flat. What? And flag comes out. We're going to see what they call. I don't want to get too up in arms and excited over this call. I heard in one of the other booths up here, that's on the offense. I don't know, we'll see the officials talking. Pass interference defense. And even, you can see Coach Wyrick there at the bottom of the screen. He doesn't get it. That was arguably some of the best coverage Humboldt's had all year. However, I'll say this, we're 3.5 quarters into this game. That's probably the worst call of the game so far, and Coach Wyrick clearly unhappy, but that's a big call in a close game, well, a closer game than it was. But Coach Wyrick, man, he is screaming and that official on the far side, and that was an unfortunate call that time, but nonetheless, the officials have done a much better tonight than what we've seen so far this season. Give to Shaver up the middle. Going to pick up about 4. Again, I was actually talking to some parents pregame, and Um, had a parent come up to me and say that, or a fan anyway, and say that they had listened to one of my broadcasts after the game, and I mentioned that they had heard me criticizing the officials a little bit, and I thought, uh-oh, here we go. I'm going to get told to quiet down. They told me they agreed with me 100%. Never made me feel better, but overall tonight, it's actually been a pretty decent night for the officials. That was just a really tough call and a really tough situation, but Johnson keeps this one himself, picks up about 6, going to be 3rd and 1 now. But again, we're pushing the 6-minute mark here in this one, so time is Humboldt's best friend right now. Oh, 3rd and 1. I'm the linebackers for Humboldt. I'm cheating up just a hair. Johnson under center, gives to Ethan Shaver. And Shaver's going to get enough for the first down. Looks like he's going to pick up about 3. So the clock will stop momentarily as they reset the chains. So ball spotted at the 27-yard line. Riverton, a good sustained drive here. Unfortunately, they don't have a lot of time to play with. Gives to Will Shaver going to the outside. Got a lot of running room. Cuts it back upfield. And Taylor Lastman, Connor Haviland going to come together and make that tackle. So Riverton offense keeps moving the ball. There's the 20 now, 2nd and 2. Gives to Crowder. Crowder looks like he might have enough for the first down or close to it. We'll see where they spot it. Actually, based on that far official, he might be about a half a yard short. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Well, big 3rd down play here, and we've got a timeout. Riverton wants to make sure they've got the perfect play calls. We've hit the 4:20 mark, so they've used about 5 minutes on this drive alone, and the previous scoring drive was about a 7-minute drive. So if Riverton was to score and at some point get the ball back, good for them, but they've yet to prove that they can have a fast-paced drive in this game, which could be a huge problem. So Humboldt defense, coaches out there trying to talk him up, getting him ready. This is a big 3rd down play. However, it is 4-down territory no matter what if you are Riverton. So big 3rd down play. Bryce Johnson going to go under center. Both Shavers behind him. This one's going to go to Ethan Shaver. Big hit, but he breaks the initial tackle and picks up about 5, maybe 6. So it will be a first down. Clock will stop at 4:13 momentarily as the chains get set. And it's now set, so the clock will run 4:10 and counting. Riverton huddling up, which seems like a bad idea when you need 12 points in 4 minutes, but nonetheless, they are doing it. Johnson under center. The give to Will Shaver. He's got room to the outside and gets out of bounds, which is probably best case scenario. Best case scenario for Riverton is that will stop the clock. It's going to set up a 2nd and 4 for Riverton. So Bryce Johnson under center. Give's going to be Ethan Shaver up the middle, and a big stop. And Taylor Lastman appeared to get him wrapped up around the ankles. Ultimately didn't make the tackle, but held him up just long enough for some help to come. Looks like that might have been Speed Hepker who came in and made the finished the tackle. Briar Orth there as well. So 3rd and 4 from about the 6-yard line. Give's going to be to Will Shaver, and then they do the handoff to Crowder, and Crowder's in there. So with 3:07 to go, Riverton makes this 20-14. Things are getting closer and closer, and Riverton will go for the 2-point conversion. I see we've got about 65 people watching the live stream. I appreciate all of you. I apologize. More than you will ever know about the camera work tonight. I'm on my own up here tonight. It's been a night full of miscues as far as the broadcast goes. We had no AM or FM tonight, no radio tonight, as we had some difficulties. Try not to get into that too much, but it's essentially my board op Destiny. She got locked out of the studio. It's not her fault one bit. That's on the station. That's on the station and the station managers. So that's an unfortunate event that we weren't able to broadcast over the air. But last I saw, we had 65 listeners, and I will do my best, I promise, over these final 3 minutes to do the camera the best I can and to give you the best play-by-play that I physically can do on my own. I'll agree with anybody out there that thinks I've done a poor job tonight. I've struggled a little bit. This is the first night I've ever had on my own doing these games, and I strive to do better. I promise that I will do better, and I've got these final 3 minutes to show you, and hopefully the Humboldt Cubs can come away with a win, but a big final 3 minutes as Humboldt clings to a 6-point lead with 3:07 to go. And Humboldt's got the hands team out there, as this is obviously going to be an onside kick. So Ethan Shaver got it teed up, ready to go. It's going to be kicked hard, and Speed Hepker tries to catch it. It was a screamer right at him, knocked it down just enough, and he was able to fall on it as well. So Humboldt will take over possession at their own 41-yard line. Or Humboldt, 3:05 now here in the fourth quarter. Humboldt going to have to pick up a couple first downs. Riverton sitting on 2 timeouts. They can stop the clock twice. Humboldt offense just got to pick up a couple of first downs here or score. Scoring would help as well. So Haviland in the backfield, 2 receivers each side. Haviland going to keep this one himself, going to the right side, and don't run out of bounds. That was worst case scenario. Connor Haviland runs out of bounds, and the clock will stop. And Coach Wyrick's got to tell Connor Haviland, you got to stay in bounds in this situation. That's a free timeout for Riverton. It was about a 4-yard pickup. We'll bring up 2nd and 6 from their own 45-yard line. Haviland, shotgun set, is going to have 2 backs in the backfield with him. And it's going to fake the handoff, keep it himself, now running to the right side. He's got a little bit of room. He's got the first down and more. Connor Haviland going down the sideline. I'm not sure if he stayed in bounds or was pushed out. Based on where the spot is, it looked like his foot stepped out. But a big gain for Connor Haviland. He pushed out of bounds, so the clock will stop. However, first down was huge, so still 4 more downs, with Riverton only having 2 timeouts and 2 chances to stop the clock on their side of it. Great job by Connor Haviland. Doing it himself, well, not himself, is following his blockers, doing a great job. So Haviland full house backfield. Gives to Coronado. Oh, the ball was on the ground. Oh, Riverton's got a chance, and Riverton's got the football. Oh, man. Riverton sideline going nuts right now as Humboldt put the ball on the ground. And after a 20-0 first half, 20-0 after 3 quarters, Riverton is 55 yards away from a chance of tying this game up and potentially taking the lead. The biggest defensive series for the Humboldt Cubs so far this season. Bryce Johnson, the quarterback, in the shotgun set. He's going to look to throw, and there is a flag as he had Will Shaver open here on the near side. It's going to be a false start on Riverton. 2:41 left on the clock. Riverton still 2 timeouts, but moving backwards as the ball will be at their own 40-yard line, 1st and 15. So what seemed to be a pretty good first 3 quarters, first half especially, has kind of turned into some nervous moments here late in the 4th quarter. Bryce Johnson gets the snap, now rolling to his left. Now stepping up, he's got some running room, and Johnson coming near side, and that was a legal block that didn't get called. And Coach Wyrick is hot. And they missed, that 2 guys. I mean, he blocked 2 guys in the back. These officials have had a really good 3 quarters, and that's 2 calls here in the 4th quarter that have been absolute garbage, to say it nicely. I kind of let the pass interference go because everybody makes a bad call in a game, but missing that block in the back, that was rough. But nonetheless, that's about a 29-yard pickup for Bryce Johnson, and Riverton now at the 31-yard line. Johnson in the shotgun set, now gets the snap, gives it to Ethan Shaver. Shaver picks up about 2. Clock running, 2:20 and counting. Froggatt on the tackle. 2nd and 8 for Riverton from the Humboldt 29-yard line. And a concerned student section over here on the Humboldt side. Bryce Johnson going under center. The give to Crowder. Crowder running to the left side. Gets that cut down quickly. Taylor Lastman and Speed Hepker combining for the tackle. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 7. Ball spotted at the 28. Tell you what, between the cooler weather and the way this 4th quarter is going, my back's getting a little tense. And Humboldt players, they're pumped up, but this crowd needs to get up and make a little bit of noise. This is a very tense moment right now. Johnson, shotgun set. He's going to look to throw, looking to the left side. Now thinking about running, nearly taken down, and he will get wrapped up. Number 70 on the stop, Joseph Froggatt, and a big play for the Humboldt defense. That's going to set up 4th and long, 4th and 13, and it all probably comes down to this final play as we're under a minute to go. And Riverton just letting this clock run, which I don't get at all. Finally, a timeout is called. We've got 53.4 seconds on the clock. We'll see if they add a little bit. That seemed like a very late timeout if you're going to use it. But how about Joseph Froggatt? Whoo, he pounced on him. What a big play for the Humboldt defense. Very, very big moments here. Fourth and 13 for Riverton. They've got the offense back out on the field. biggest play of the year for Humboldt at this point. Winner of this game moves to 3-0 in district and likely seals up a playoff spot. The loser will move to 2-1 and will have to battle a little bit harder to pick up a playoff spot. So big fourth down play. I can feel it shaking now. You probably see it on the camera. Snap. Johnson going to throw. And he throws one up towards the end zone, and this one will be incomplete. Gunnar Elder tried to intercept it, but he's got to remember, you know what? That's okay. Bat it down. Turnover on downs. Humboldt's going to take over possession, and Humboldt should walk out of here with a victory. Riverton just one timeout, so Humboldt should be able to kneel this one out, even if Riverton chooses to use one of their timeouts. And say Humboldt just needs to take a couple knees. 3 would do it. And Haviland going to go under center. Lastman will snap it to him. There's one, and Riverton electing not to use their time. Oh, and they will now. So Humboldt going to go into victory formation once again. It's going to take 2 of them as the play clock will reset at 25. So with 40 seconds left, and Humboldt clinging to a slim 20-14 lead, kneel down on second and a kneel down on third down should do it. But really a whole final quarter of tense moments that I tell you, after 3 quarters of football, I did not think was coming. Especially, I mean, it was 20-0 in the first half, and really felt Humboldt had control of this game. But the one thing that worried me was that Riverton a couple times had a drive going. They pick up 30 or 40 yards, and then their drive would just stall. And in the late third and then through the fourth quarter, they finally were able to start finishing off some of those drives. And kind of wonder if they just ran out of time. If they would have done that a little bit sooner, things might have gone differently. Nonetheless, Humboldt going to walk out of here with a victory if they can do one more successful kneel down. Clock now hitting the 30-second mark, and at any point after the 25-second mark, they snap this thing and it's over. Actually, they put a 40-second play clock up, so that's going to do it. Clock still at 15 seconds, but slowly running out, and both teams will walk off to their respective sidelines. But Humboldt going to come away with a victory. And 5 seconds now to 4, 3, 2. And that'll do it tonight. So the Humboldt Cubs, although it wasn't pretty, especially in the second half, Humboldt Cubs going to come away with this one with a 20-14 victory, move to 6-0, 3-0 in district, with another home game next week as they will take on Northeast Arma, who was looking for their first district win tonight. But tonight, a big win for the Humboldt Cubs. Again, wasn't pretty. I'm sure the coaches weren't happy. I actually spoke to Coach Wyrick pregame, and I asked him, hey, did you have a good week of practice? How you feeling? And ultimately, he told me yes, it was a good week of practice. However, it wasn't a very confident yes. I tell you that I don't think he was feeling too great about his week of practice. He told me it was a decent week, but just going to read body language and other things of that nature, and could tell that wasn't their best week of practice. But if you're watching on the live stream as well, this is arguably one of the coolest things I've seen. This is the 3rd or 4th game that Humboldt's done this, and they meet at midfield with the opposing team, and opposing team's cheerleaders even coming out there, and everybody getting together for a post-game prayer. And looks like head coach Logan Wyrick standing up in the middle of them. And hey, if that's what you believe in, awesome. If you don't, that's fine. But these guys coming together for a post-game prayer, don't recall there was any injuries tonight, so that's something to be happy about. A lot of respect between these two football programs as Humboldt in the midst of a pretty good run, a sub-state berth last year, and then, of course, this year, now 6-0, Humboldt ranked. I was looking at some state rankings before the game. Coming into this one, Humboldt was number 4 in the state, and that's I checked 3 different ranking sites. We had K-Preps, Catch It, Kansas, as well as 810 Varsity out of Kansas City, and all 3 had Humboldt as the number 4 team. The one, though, that surprised me, and we talked about this a little bit last week, Southeast Cherokee. They came in tonight undefeated. I haven't looked to see how their game was going tonight, but K-Preps Catch It, Kansas did not have Southeast Cherokee ranked. However, 810 Varsity had Southeast Cherokee as the number 5 team in the state. They were 5-0 coming into tonight. Looking at their schedule, I kind of assumed that there was a good chance week 8 down in Cherokee, it could be a matchup of 2 7-0 teams with a district title on the line. And after Humboldt's victory tonight, it's looking more and more likely on the Humboldt side of things anyway. Obviously, you play the game next week against Northeast Arma. They play it for a reason. Arma, in the midst of a little bit of a rebuild, they're a struggling team right now anyway, and don't recall their overall record. I know they haven't won a district game at this point, and looking at Northeast, they're 1-4 overall. Northeast, our opponent next week, again, lost to Pleasanton week 1, 62-0. Week 2, they knocked off Yates Center in Yates Center, beat the Wildcats 36-0. Followed that with a 22-7 loss to Uniontown, a 36-0 loss to Southeast, lost to this Riverton team 48-18, and currently playing Jayhawk Lynn tonight. Don't have a score on that game as of yet, but hopefully before we go off tonight, we can see if we can't get a couple of those scores for you. But again, here tonight, I'll pan you off real fast and get you the scoreboard. And it's off. I guess I could have just looked and noticed that. But 20-14 was the final tonight. Humboldt coming away with the victory. And again, not pretty by any means. I'm sure it was probably had the coaches a little nervous there towards the end, but you practice and get out there and play, and it's probably going to be a rough practice, and all those times where you're running, doing sprints and doing up downs, and the coaches tell you that fourth quarter is what it ultimately comes down to. You win and lose games in the fourth quarter, and got to finish those win sprints. And that comes down to a big point tonight as Humboldt, we'll say they ran out of gas, but Riverton really got things going in the fourth quarter, and say time helped out Humboldt. Kind of wonder if there was a few more minutes left. If Riverton feels like they had some momentum going, if this thing might have finished a little differently. Looking at some scores around the area, and be patient with me as I'm using Scores in Kansas on Twitter, as they're affiliated with Sports in Kansas. Down in Cherryville, they defeated Douglas tonight 29-0. Wellsville, they're in the fourth quarter. They're tied up with Santa Fe Trail 19-19. Wellsville actually will be a district opponent next year, and we'll get into that here in just a second after we talk about a few more of these scores, but definitely want to talk about next year just a hair before we go off the air to those that are listening. Silver Lake knocking off West Franklin 62-0. West Franklin will be a district opponent next year as well. Some other scores around the area. See what we got here. Nothing too close to us. And got a lot of Kansas City and Wichita area schools, but nothing really in our area. Southeast, they led Erie 20-6 in the third quarter, which again, don't like to, say, well, this team beat this team and this team beat that team, so we should beat that team. Humboldt, a big 64-0 win over Erie. Southeast, a 20-6 lead on Erie, so we'll see how things are going there as it gets a little bit later in that one. Any fans of Shutout out there, they're in Fort Scott. This was, say, about a half hour ago, but they had a 28-14 lead. Shutout needing that game to control their own destiny in the SEK, as they'll have a big one coming up against Labette County. That game against Labette County will likely decide the league title, as Shutout. Shutout's having a pretty good year. They had the one loss to Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's pretty good. Good chance Shutout runs the table from here on out. They've got a pretty good team. I really like what Shutout's doing this year. A few other scores. See if we can't find something close to us. I know Independence, man, they had to make the track all the way up to Center, Missouri, which is on obviously the Missouri side of Kansas City, and they were getting beat. I believe it was 35-7 or 34-7. They were pretty late in that one, but nonetheless, that's a long road trip. But districts changing next year, and speaking of that, Independence 4A school, they've got to play Wichita North next year. Sounds like a nightmare to me, playing a 6A school, but Coach will be up here in just a minute. It looked like he was making his way up here. So real quick, next season, schedule is out, and I'll get into this later. Coach is up here. He's heading this way, and get the other headset ready for him. And Coach, thanks for joining me tonight. Just to give you a heads up, we never went on the air tonight on radio. We had some difficulties. My board op got locked out of the studio. Long story, but we did do our live stream. So
Gotcha.
At the end of the game there, we had about 65 people watching. So, at halftime, I came back and I said that things were going about normal. If you look at the season averages, it was 20-0, and you ended up going 11 consecutive quarters of scoreless action. And then things got a little nervous there in the fourth quarter. So I guess what happened?
I think it's all little things. We're talking about it at the end of the game, and I think that's the frustrating part for one. It's all alignments. It's day one. Plays we're blocking wrong. It's not an intricate play we're running there at the end of the game. It's that got installed in June. We've been running it since August. And we block it wrong. And stuff like that. We had some misalignments there late that you're like, and again, this day one stuff. So that's what's frustrating, I think, to a point. And we kept talking to him about it, but I think that's also the plus side too. I mean, it's not that we're not good enough. I think that's so you can look at it positively in that the talent's there. We just can't have these mistakes. It's fixable. It's kind of like I said just a little bit ago. It's a double-edged sword. We get frustrated about it, but we can fix it.
Now, one thing I noticed, even in just pregame warm-ups, you've mentioned it every time we've talked, I think, that you've got a bunch of 5'8", 140 kids that are running, that are quick. And just out here watching pregame, and I thought, Riverton's got a little bit of size, and then they were lining up that running back, Shaver, and there at one point, I think in the third quarter, he got tackled by Joshua Hall, and they stood up next to each other, and obviously Josh was taller. Man, Shaver's bigger.
Yeah.
That's a running back going up against a D lineman. He's bigger, so that was kind of an advantage I thought Riverton had tonight. And, it seemed like in the whole first half they'd pick up 20, 30, sometimes even 40 yards, and then a drive would stall. It's just something wasn't quite there. And so even at halftime I thought, if Riverton gets something going, it could change a little bit. But the offense just scored just enough, it seemed like, to make you think this game's at hand. But, again, that fourth quarter, I guess ultimately couple mistakes and stuff,
turnovers.
And something right there at the end of the game. I'm sure you talked about it in summer and even early practices, running gassers and whatnot. And you got to tell your guys, that, this is the difference in the fourth quarter. And I don't think it's so much Humboldt ran out of steam tonight, but Riverton, it felt like, man, that momentum was right there towards the end.
Oh yeah, they definitely had it. It was good to see. I can't remember who got in the backfield there late, but that was big. Finally got to play. We were in the backfield a lot.
Yeah, Froggatt got back there, and made that big stop on third down.
And we were in the backfield a lot tonight, and we were getting them a line. Where we wanted to be, we were shooting the gap, and we were there, and we were in the backfield, and we just weren't making plays. I don't know how many times we had a hand on the back, 3 yards deep, and we just. It was probably double digits. I mean, that's and that can't happen. So, good. It was a good stand. That was good to see. Kind of bow up there at the end and do what you had to do. And it's real easy with all the things going wrong there, just to kind of pack in and they bowed up, and that was good. That was also definitely something positive we can take from that.
Well, I'm sure ultimately a little unhappy giving up the points points matter at this stage.
Yep.
So that wasn't good, but. Next week, got another home game. Somehow we got back-to-back home games when you only got 3.
It's
but
almost weird being here now.
it is odd being here. It's a little chilly, too. Cold weather snuck up on us. But you got Arma next week. I saw their score, and I don't remember what it was. They were trailing, but they're kind of down this season. Obviously, you played them last year, so you know a little bit about them. But anything specific you're looking forward to in that game?
No, I mean I've only seen them a little bit, and it's been a while. We only saw a little bit of film on them. I think it might have been against Riverton, and they got up on them early. So, we'll go back to that and see what they look like from the night and their matchup, and hopefully, right the ship a little bit. I mean, you say that a win's a win, but we got to fix some things and hopefully get rolling again.
I'll try to stay away from it as much as possible, but I do want to say one thing. Next season, I know you're not focused on next season at all, but district realignment. You got shipped up north. You're going to have to play teams like Osage City, who you played in the playoffs last year, Wellsville, West Franklin. Are you okay with that? I mean, it's ultimately, you just play the schedule you get. But
yeah, I mean, it didn't matter. We figured we'd either be there or pretty similar to what we were this year with maybe the addition of Colgan instead of Northeast. And honestly, it's where I thought we would be this last rotation. So, yeah, I mean, we saw West Franklin last year. Week 9, we saw Osage. Week 10, we saw Wellsville for, you usually see Wellsville, it seems like, but we were in different classifications the last couple of years. And so, they're teams we see. Jayhawk's still there. Eureka's there. So we're familiar with them. And it's really, a lot of them are hour trip type stuff, and it wasn't going to be a whole lot different. Yeah, it'd be nice if we were going to Erie, because I think that was something that's been fun kind of building since they got into Tri-Valley, kind of work on that rivalry. We won't play for 2 years. But
well, I didn't know. So. I saw the district alignment, and then I was checking out Twitter here and there trying to see schedules. And the first schedule I saw was Blue Stem, and that's the week 1 matchup. And I thought, man, district farther road trips, and the first game's at Blue Stem.
Yeah.
I hope those other 2 games are close, and Neodesha and Fredonia, so not too bad.
Familiar opponents there,
but
too,
yeah, it is kind of weird. You only see a couple league opponents now, which ultimately league means nothing. It's a kind of just a pride thing now. I mean, Caney, who played a couple years now because of that, they were getting beat by Frontenac tonight. I don't know if you knew that, but a big one there. But Coach, congrats on the win. Thank you for joining me, and don't leave. But I guess I really don't have to sign off a whole lot here tonight. It wasn't on air, but to everybody that listened, thank you. A big 20-14 win. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Home game against Northeast Arma, 7 o'clock. Until then, thanks for listening.